Threads, everybody's least favorite social media network.
I like to post stuff on there knowing that I'll never be canceled because no one will ever read it.
Right. Yeah. There's a social media story that you and I can talk about that is gaining ground. I know you're not a Mastodon user,
Right.
but you've heard me
I know what it is.
talk about
You've
the
been trying to pitch
Fediverse.
it to me for years.
Yeah. So two big changes in the Fediverse, which is around 10 million
Every time you
active.
say it, I think of Kevin Federline. I feel like it's in some alternate place where he created this big social network called the Fediverse.
Well,
Just so you know, every time you say it, that's what I think.
whatever helps.
That was Britney Spears' ex-husband back in the day.
Yeah.
K-Fed.
Whatever helps the brand recognition for you, I'm fine with it. No,
Should be the K-Fediverse.
K-Fed. Well, that's an entirely different product.
Different timeline.
Yeah. So Threads, everybody's least favorite social media network.
I like to post stuff on there knowing that I'll never be canceled because no one will ever read it.
Right. Yeah. Well, now people in the Fediverse can read it because they are allowing syndication of your Threads timeline to the ActivityPub network and saying that they're going to have a completely bidirectional system.
Why? Explain this to me. I don't understand.
Well,
why
it was one of the things they promised whenever they launched the product. So we're going to have
it's just a
full Fediverse
it's designed
integration.
to be basically a
node within the Fediverse.
Huh. But then what about engagement and all the other stuff that people do? It sounds like they're turning themselves into a WordPress kind of thing. We're going to create
On
content,
Threads?
push it somewhere else.
On Threads?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what the Mastodon and other ActivityPub enabled systems are in the first place. They are the WordPress for social media. It allows you to run your own instance. This would be more like the WordPress.com of the Fediverse because it is a completely encapsulated system, but it does have interoperability with the rest of the Fediverse system.
Aren't you required to have some kind of disclosure about how much you love WordPress? And then I'm supposed to say, no, I still love movable type.
Yeah.
Like, is it not? I don't know if you own stock in the company, but man, you love that so much.
Here's why I love it. Because I am, it's no secret.
Because it powers the internet.
I'm a decentralization maximalist. I feel like everything should be decentralized to the absolute maximum extent that it can be. And WordPress has walked that walk since inception and has maintained a profitable business all these years and while adhering to those principles.
Do you remember how they got big?
Well, I mean, just by powering
history
the blog
lesson
revolution.
going back, you probably remember this because Blogger came along. And that was the first pushing one. And you had GeoCities before that, but that was just a nightmare. Right. And you had your MySpace stuff. But Blogger came along and everybody started utilizing it. And you created two things. You had WordPress and movable type. And movable type turned into TypePad, and that was the professional buttoned-up good one, and then Squarespace was the side one. Mm-hmm. WordPress was the favorite of the mommy bloggers, and there were so many of them that it quickly had so many people, and it had to be easily used to put together. So because they were pushing out at doing it, TypePad was requiring like $9 a month or $15 a month. WordPress was free on your installation, so they just got swamped very quickly. Everybody was on WordPress in the space of a few years. And then, I didn't think people talk about TypePad anymore. Squarespace restarted at Southwest a couple of years later, but it got dominated by giving away free stuff. It's basically the Keller Williams of the software world.
Well, and also Squarespace is WordPress.
Is it really?
They forked the code and made it closed source.
See, this is why we bring you along the little tech nuggets that get people excited.
Same thing with Wix too. Wix is a fork of WordPress. Wix and Squarespace.
I feel like there's that new movie that Kevin Hart has on. It's a series on. It's kind of like Hollywood Dads. I actually couldn't believe how much I laughed because it was at one point Neil deGrasse Tyson comes on and goes, "I didn't know Mike Tyson's daddy was an astrophysicist. That right hook, I saw it." And you're like, it's hysterical because he's making fun of himself.
Yeah.
It's like Extras where all the actors would say, like Ian McKellen's like, what I do is I imagine myself as a wizard and then I pretend that's guy. And it goes through like 2 minutes of how he acts, which is, but that's the kind of thing so it's the clone of a clone of a clone.
Yeah.
Wix feels like the third clone.
It's stating stepped on, definitely.
The not great one.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching The Merge. We've got a ton more stuff for you to watch on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, everywhere. Check us out.